pretty much just talked about how much Creed sucks. So.
Oh my god. What's up, everybody? Jason, Joe, and Krams are here. Tastes Like Music, Whitney Houston Week, Side 3. So, coming up with the topic this week was a little tricky, but we decided one pretty significant thing about Whitney Houston's career is how many diamond albums she has. So we are going to take a look at some other diamond albums, but I think the most interesting way to do so is to look at the bad ones, and these are the ones that we think are the worst or our least favorite diamond selling albums of all time. That's not to say that we think Whitney's are bad, but that's how we're spinning this thing. So what have you guys got?
Right. Well, there's a lot of bad diamond selling albums out there. Seem to all be, well, majority of them from like that same kind of weird period between like 98, 2003, where everyone was buying like NSYNC and Britney Spears albums. So I'll start with one, Britney Spears, her debut, Baby One More Time. I think the singles are pretty good. I'm not gonna besmirch, Hit Me Baby One More Time, but there's just so many just really horrendous tracks on here. And it's just a really bad example. Like it's the one that kicked off like the whole boom of teeny bopper, like these kind of over-sexualized female pop singers. And it's just a really bad example of that type of music. So it's not good, not good at all. Also on my list, I'll do Creed. Let's do Creed. Human Clay is going to be on my list here of the worst diamond selling albums. I just think it's the worst of post grunge. I don't mind My Own Prison. I think it's not a bad album. There's a couple songs on there, not bad. This takes like all of the worst elements of that, the stupid, Eddie Vedder vocals, the guitar that's like kind of cool sounding, but also like just like soulless and terrible. With Arms Wide Open and Higher, just irredeemable, just excrement, just the worst songs I think of that era. And then you have like What If, which is just a terrible STP ripoff. So really, really just hate Creed in general. So that's gonna make my list. I feel like this artist goes like right along with Creed, and I'm gonna go with Kid Rock. I don't think Devil Without a Cause was his debut. I honestly don't care to look it up. I don't care at all about Kid Rock, but it just took like the worst elements of rap, new metal, country, hard rock, like fake Southern culture, like the the Dixie flags and everything, just everything bad, wrapped it into this horrible album. Cowboy, Ba Wada Ba. Then you have like the super auto tune, Only God Knows Why. Like it's just none of it makes any sense stylistically, and it seems like a big joke. So it's got to be on my list. I just hate Kid Rock a lot. There's nothing good about him. Let's go MC Hammer. Please, Hammer, don't hurt him. Yes, Ham's favorite. Total fluke. I will give him that he was smart enough to sample and steal like really good R&B and like pop and funk tunes. Obviously, Super Freak. The hook is it's enormous. Like it's hard to resist, but like that's the best thing about it. It's like sampling Rick James and sampling some of these other big hits. It was the first diamond selling rap album, so I guess it is kind of a trailblazer in that regards, but it does not deserve to be at all. It's really bad. And then finally, we'll do one that's not quite, it's not really the worst, but it's always irked me. Eagles, Greatest Hits, 1971 to 1975. Hold on now. Not that I think it's a terrible album, but why would like the Eagles, like you're leaving off Hotel California, you're leaving off Take It to the Limit, like you're leaving off at least half of their best songs, Like, why is this the go-to Eagles album? Why is this sold 38 million copies? Is there no like greatest hits with the whole discography? They only have like 7 albums. Like you can fit it all on there. There's just a weird mix of like, Tequila Sunrise and some of the crappier soft rock tunes. Like put out a different Eagles album with the whole thing if you want the Eagles. Like this is not their best era. Just I don't understand why this is like the go-to Eagles album. So I'm gonna put that on my list because it makes no sense to me. Like that's number one in United States history, Eagles greatest hits 71 to 75.
That's that people consider that the genius of David Geffen, but because before that, no one had ever put out a greatest hits record before a band had basically broken up. So I don't know, but I think you're right. The fact that it still sells at a enormous clip is weird.
Like if I liked the Eagles and I got that album, I'd be pissed. Be like, this is not a good representation of anything. Like this sucks.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of their just sellout nature. Like, let's make them buy this and Hotel California because we're not going to put Hotel California on it. It was brilliant. I would expect you to like that about them. My list, I've got a few in touch with Joe here. Kid Rock, Devil Without a Cause, 1 star. By the way, I haven't heard all of the 96 diamond selling albums, so I am only going with albums that I think are bad, that are diamond selling. Obviously not ranking them. And that means things that are sub 3 stars for me are things that I never want to listen to again. And Kid Rock, not only do I not want to listen to this album ever again, I would go out of my way to like hunt down copies and just eliminate them from existence. It's really bad. Like Joe was saying, it's got a terrible little bit of everything. It's like going to a buffet of rock and roll and rap history, but everything there is cooked improperly or has been sitting out so long it's just terrible. It's awful. I also have Creed, Human Clay. I really dug it when it came out. I was into them and Power Man 5000, 311, all the everyone at my lunch table in like 7th grade was into. I felt like I had to listen to, and then when I found myself individually a little bit, I was like, what is this garbage? And in music class, I had to do like a report kind of thing on it where we had to pick like a new CD and we had to listen to every song and kind of write the music to one of the instruments. And Human Clay was the one that I did. And it made me appreciate it even more. It's not very good. I don't think it's atrociously bad because I think Mark Tremonti, like you said, kind of writes some cool guitar parts. So I have it at 2 stars, but I hate everything about Scott Stapp, from the way he stands and smiles. He tries to act all hard with that big grin on his face, like he's at a glamour shots as like a 10-year-old, and his mom is like, you should smile more, honey. And he's like, yes. So it looks terrible. He doesn't know how to pronounce words. It's awful. And then I'm going to go with another one around the same time. I'm going to go with Supernatural by Santana. I'm a big Santana fan, but I don't like Smooth. I don't like any of the weird experiments on here. I don't like the cast of characters he brings on, like Dave Matthews and CeeLo Green I like, but I don't know what he's doing on this. Like, obviously some of the guitar work is fine, but it just goes on and on and on. We'll eventually get to Santana one day. And then I got 2 that are going to punish Joe a little bit for making me listen to Whitney Houston this week. I've got No Jacket Required by Phil Collins. I do have that at 2.5 stars. I think it's a decent album, but diamond selling? Come on, no way. I love that orange glow of his face on the album cover, though. If you want more of a review of that album, go check out the Phil Collins video. And then I'm going to throw in The Stranger by Billy Joel. 2 stars. I don't like it. Watch the Billy Joel video, or don't. If you haven't, if it's your first time watching, you won't want to subscribe because you'll think I suck, which I do sometimes, but not about Billy Joel. I don't like this album. 2 stars, which means it is on the same level as Creed's Human Clay, Joe, for me.
All right, we got some in common here. I agree with Joe. Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em is not good. Can't Touch This is fine. I got no problem with Can't Touch This. It is a relic of the time. But some of the other tracks on that record, like Help the Children, where there's all that like creepy whispering where he's like, help the children. It's so weird. We all have Devil Without a Cause. That is a terrible record.
Was it a March Badness contender?
No.
Should have been.
It's awful. I don't know how Kid Rock has ever sold one record, let alone 11 million copies of one record. That is crazy. Blows my mind that he wrote that really good Dwight Yoakam song. Then a couple maybe more controversial picks from me. I've got Cracked Rear View by Hootie and the Blowfish. Just, I mean, it's not anywhere near as bad as Devil Without a Cause, but it's just so plain. Like, why would this sell 1 million copies, let alone 16? It is mind blowing. I mean, talk about timing a release right, man. There is no other time in history where they could have released that record and it would have done that well.
I'll agree with you. The songs are really catchy, and they just kind of captured that like comfortable kind of 60s hippie revival, spiritual lovingness of the mid 90s. You're right. It was a 1 in a million chance, and they got it.
The other one that I got that is maybe a little controversial, a genre that a lot of people hate and that a lot of people talk crap on, but this record seems to get a pass because it was kind of the first one through the door. I've got Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park, 11 million copies sold, and I don't know, I can't do it. I had a burned copy of it back when it came out from someone, but I don't know, can't do it anymore. No dice.
I don't love it, but it's decent. They have worse material than the stuff on there.
But number one, the worst of them all, and a record that was in our March Badness tournament, All the Right Reasons by Nickelback. So bad, so terrible. And the fact that they pulled this off, so many of the Diamond records come from that window, late 90s, early 2000s. This came out in 2005, and this was like the last gasp of physical media. If this came out like 10 years earlier, God knows how many copies they would have sold. But man, 10 million in 2005, that is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, I missed that one. Joe, I will take Phil Collins off and put Nickelback on there. That is far more appropriate. I don't know why I didn't see that on the list. That album sucks. And a fun fact, you mentioned physical media. I believe 2021 was the first year ever, well, in like, I don't know, first year in a long time that vinyl outsold CDs. And it was simultaneously the first time in 15 years that CD sales were higher than the year before. So all physical media is on the rise. Very cool.
I bought 4 records this year.
So there you go. Diamond albums. Let us know what you think. Are there any that you love? Are there ones that, like us, we hate, that you hate? Drop the worst ones down in the comments. And if you're in a different country and have different standards of what a diamond album is, let us know where you are, how many copies you have to sell to get to diamond, and which records have made it to diamond status where you are. Always interesting to see the differences. And, aside from that, like it, subscribe, hit the bell. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our website, all in the description. We'll see you in the next one. Songs of the Year tomorrow.